I'm gonna guess you're here because you're looking for more time and location freedom and to get paid better. This training is specifically for experienced grant writers without business experience. Because let's be real, I know working for yourself has been on your heart for a while, but then the doubt creeps in. How do I find clients? What would I charge? Do I have to build a website, have a business, an LLC? What if I leave my job and it doesn't work out? You're not alone in those concerns. Most experienced grant writers who want to freelance really struggle, not of course with the writing, but with the business side. That's why today I'm going to show you 3 powerful strategies to help you build your freelance grant writing business on the side of your current job without risking it, finding clients without a website, brand, or social media following, and a pricing and packaging strategy that works beautifully. Hey, if we haven't met, I'm Meredith. I'm the co-founder of Learn Grant Writing, home of the Grant Writers Collective. I've trained over 3,400 grant writers, and together our members have won more than $1 billion in grant funding, and they've earned more than $6 million in consulting revenue along the way. But before any of that, I was an in-house grant writer just like you. I had this unique angle. I was writing grants for a for-profit company, and in that role, I built and led a grant writing services team of 30 professionals across the US and Canada. I personally won over $45 million in complex infrastructure grants, and I supported another $200 million in getting out the door. I learned a ton, I loved the work, but I also burned out. I could also see a ceiling. There was an $80K salary, was about as far as I was going to go in that job, and I was looking for something more. More flexibility to enjoy Alaska's daylight in the winter, more income, and more travel freedom. I prepped for about 9 months before I left corporate, and I definitely had no certainty on where my next paycheck was coming from. But despite that, it was crazy. I no longer had this dull burn of constant stress like I did previously. Fast forward a year, and I met my business bestie and soul sister, Catholic Celestig. And so together,
we built a joyful, sustainable grant consulting business that brought in $40K a month with a team of 5.
And now we help others just like you make the transition from W-2 employee to confident consultant step by step. All right, see ya. If you've been thinking, I want to do this, but I don't want to figure it all out alone, you are in the right place. Let's get into the 3 strategies that make all the difference. Strategy number 1 is avoid the burnout trap. Most experienced grant writers try to freelance solo, and it backfires. They're undercharging. They're getting sucked into scope creep, right? You're burning this midnight oil on evenings and weekends, but you're never making enough to actually confidently leave your job. And I know you're looking, how do you take care of yourself? A little bit more self-care. But you end up spending a lot of time wondering, well, when am I going to quit? Can I afford to? And over time, you might start to wonder, maybe I'm not even cut out for freelancing. Or worse, maybe I don't even want to write grants at all anymore. And that is what I call the freelance burnout trap. And if you're trying to DIY it on your own, you're either in this trap already or you're gonna be headed there fast. Strangely enough, it is often my total newbie grant writers who out-earn the experienced ones. Why? They're more willing to just take guidance and implement without second-guessing every step. You are a proven grant writer. You know how to win funding, and it's okay to admit that you've got a skills gap when it comes to finding clients, setting prices, and actually running a business. Inside the Grant Writing Collective, I'm going to show you how to land your first paid client, often within 30 to 60 days. Develop a funding strategy that is your foot in the door deliverable that builds trust and gets results. I'll show you how to price your work so you only need 1 or 2 clients to justify leaving your job and working more cozily from home. And I call this it earn and learn. You're going to be making money, learning how to run a business at the same time. Now, you'll know when it's time to leave your job because you're making 5 to 10K a month with a pipeline of clients in the queue. More on this in a little bit. But there's more to it than that. And my rule in coaching is that we solve real problems, not hypothetical ones. So let's get you to that point first. Strategy number 2 is finding unicorn clients. Most people assume they need a full website, a logo, brand identity, an LLC before they can get awesome clients. New. Our most successful members start freelancing with none of that. What they did was use our proven step-by-step system called the Organic Networking Framework. It's how you quietly and professionally land paid work, often on the side of your current job, without broadcasting it all over social media. And it starts with the outreach of a curious conversation. And I show you exactly who to target so you're not wasting your time with organizations that can't afford to hire you. Next is the curious conversation itself, which is an art form. You're going to get our 15-page script that includes objection overrider templates to navigate questions like, why don't you charge hourly, or we're not quite ready? Then, assuming you see a need to pursue grants by this nonprofit, you can propose a funding strategy. It's a roadmap that shows what grants they should pursue over the next 12 to 18 months. This is a strategic deliverables priced between about $2,500 and $5,000 plus. And once that's delivered, you issue a contract amendment, often a monthly retainer to help implement that funding strategy. I often get experienced in-house grant writers who get really concerned about having to sell themselves. And this is not about self-promotion. The organic networking framework is an introvert-friendly approach that's all about the win, win, win. You're serving nonprofits that genuinely need your expertise, and you're bringing valuable dollars to those causes. Strategy number 3 is pricing like a pro. So here's the thing. Most people price their freelance services based on what they think they would pay, not what is standard in the industry. Or they think if I charge less, it's going to be an easier yes. Spoiler, it's not. And often those are even harder to close because they're these uber price sensitive clients. Or you think because a nonprofit asks, what's your hourly rate? That means you have to charge hourly. Look, you have to step out of your employee identity and into the identity of a consultant. You have to disassociate from thinking of value in terms of hours that you work, especially with AI, my friend. Anyone charging hourly much longer will not be in business in the future. Plus, it literally punishes you for getting more knowledgeable and specialized. Instead, our approach to pricing is this. 1, value-based pricing. We do not charge by the hour. Yes, you're often going to ground in hours. The hour is expected to get a job done because we got to make sure you're not losing money, but we show you what other 3 factors to consider when pricing your services. Others in my industry will not give you concrete numbers on what to charge from fear of being accused of price setting. And look, I'm unapologetic about this. I'm going to give you an updated pricing structure sheet every year for affordable and fair pricing and the premium pricing, which is where you'll probably be able to go pretty quickly, depending on your experience in business. To me, price transparency is equitable and vital if we want to close the gender and racial pay gaps. Second is the cake pricing method. Basically what this is you've got the retainer is the spongy cake portion. The frosting is the contingency budget. And this is for spikes in workload. Let's say you've got a really big federal grant or you've got an unresponsive client that's wasting your time. And I'll tell you, I've never seen anybody have something called the cake pricing method out in the world because we invented it. And it addresses the downsides of retainers for you and the client while also protecting you from unexpected things. Then we have the easy yes offer. Too often, consultants are building these highly specialized hot rods for each client. And this makes billing every month an absolute pain. It takes 2-3 days of the month itself just to straighten it out. And instead, I want you to think of your grant writing services as a product offer. I'm going to give you a templated example of an easy yes offer, which solves many of the traps grant writers fall into when it comes to promising monthly grants submitted. And we all know grants have multi-month lead times with the relationship building element. And things like how do you handle growing responsibilities with grant reporting? If you have some other specialized expertise, like let's say you're a baller at strategic planning or you are killer with logic models or whatever, we'll help you build that into your easy yes offer with a base price of $5,000 a month. So let's do some math. You only need 4 of those to run a $250K a year business. And a rule of thumb is to pay yourself 50% of your total revenue up to $250K. That means your salary is $125,000. Plus, I then show you another fantastic party trick, which is setting up a retirement account that you can put 25% of your annual salary into as a business expense. And I don't know about you, but putting away $30K into retirement this year sounds like a great way to take care of future you. As you can see, as it relates to the topic of money and contracting and you thriving in business, it's a topic I can seriously go off on, but that should be enough to whet your appetite or this cake. I want to eat it so bad, it's not even funny. For what it means to be around someone who just knows consulting pricing inside and out. If you're still not sure if this will work for you, here's the deal. Go spend the next year DIYing it. Try to land clients, negotiate pricing, prove your value. Track exactly how much you earn. Come back to me if you don't want to jump in right now and show me your receipts and I will show you how to double it minimum. But my honest advice is why wait another year just to prove that I can help you build a better, more profitable, more flexible life? You already know you're good at the work. Let's just make sure you're being paid accordingly. Let's run through 3 examples. Okay. So first up is Annalisa Noble. And while we share the same last name, oh man, these candles burn, and we have red hair, and we both lived in Spokane, and we were mountain bike friends, we've got no relation. She was a burnt out, overqualified admin for a landscaping company before I convinced her to become a grant writer. She worked in-house for an engineering firm helping rural communities get infrastructure grants, and she supported nonprofits like the local mountain bike chapter and She Jumps, which helps women and girls get out in the outdoors. She's won well over $25 million in grants when she decided, okay, it's time to branch off. She wants to work for herself. And she had all the same fears and new skills to develop as you do, namely finding her own client work, balancing doing the work and getting new clients, and most recently, the struggle and the learning curve around building a team to support herself. Fast forward a year and a half, she just closed on a house, which is honestly a really big deal when you're self-employed, and she completely overhauled her life. She's in a new relationship, she's doing more horseback riding, and she's seriously thriving. Next up is Tiernan Sieber. She quit her job so her and her husband could van life it from San Diego to Panama, surfing along the way. Her previous employer actually paid her, a very common story where your old job actually becomes your first client, and she wrote and won a $12.5 million EPA grant for them. Tiernan is living her dream life, working remotely, surfing, while writing grants, and just living life on her own terms. I have loads more examples, but that gives you an idea of what's possible. At this point, you must be wanting to look under the hood and see exactly how the Grant Writing Collective is structured to get people such awesome results. Let me walk you through it, because this is not just a course. It is a complete career ecosystem designed for experienced grant writers stepping into consulting for the first time. After onboarding and sharing your goals with us, you're going to get curriculum that is tailored specifically to you. You're going to join bi-monthly coaching calls where we can answer your questions live and help you untangle the real-life situations that you're navigating. Plus, we have monthly power hours to co-work with your unicorn besties and bonus trainings with industry experts. You will have the option to become certified via our funding strategy and grant writing methodology. By doing so, you unlock our opportunities channel where we list nonprofits that are looking for grant writers. I've had tenured grant writers tell me that they've learned a ton from us, specifically around our project management and systems building when it relates to writing grants. And the best part is the community. Seriously, this will become your new favorite corner of the internet to hang out, where you're joined by an epic hype squad of 500-600 unicorns, all building their dream lives. When you share a win, expect our community to ask, how are you celebrating? That's a core value around here. Feeling like you're low in the valley of despair? Well, be vulnerable and share that, and prepare to get picked up and dusted off. Look up people by location and meet up in real life for a coffee or tea co-work date. Find peers to work with so that you're never alone and you have accountability buddies. And know that me and 5 other coaches have your back no matter what you throw our way. Plus, our events. We don't do this every year because it's a ton of work, but the next big gathering we're having, big conference, is in Bend, Oregon, and not something you're going to want to miss. It's happening over National Unicorn Day on April 9th. This program is designed to unlock what you need when you need it. So you're not overloading yourself on information, and you're focusing on hitting real financial milestones from that 15K to 50K to 100K to 250K and beyond. So if your heart is pitter-pattering a little bit faster right now, it's probably because you know this is what you've been looking for. For the love of fill in the blank, stop DIYing it or letting another year slip by where this thing on your heart is just not happening yet. At this point, you're probably thinking, okay, this sounds amazing, but what's it going to cost? The Grant Writing Collective is $500 a month for 12 months, and then stay as long as you want. No big upfront tuition like college that doesn't actually show you how to make money with your new education. But why a year, you might ask? It's because you are going on a journey, my friend, with highs and with lows, and we're going to be here with you for all of it. Most of our members are staying 2 to 3+ years because of the support they get just keeps evolving as they evolve. I know many of you are dealing with caring for aging parents. You've got littles at home. You're living on one income. While $500 a month is a fraction of the cost of going back to school, I know it is still something you have to feel confident about so you don't feel like you're wasting your money. For that reason, I invite you to schedule a call with Rose. She's built an incredible grant writing consulting business, an international writing coaching business. She believes in the collective so much that she's down to answer your questions. So you can get on her calendar. I'll link it up below. You don't have to figure it out alone. We built the Grant Writing Collective so you never have to wonder, am I doing this right? You're going to have a very clear path, expert coaching, a killer community, and the confidence that comes from seeing real results. I got receipts all day long on our website, the YouTube channel. Go read our Google reviews, you name it. But now it's really just ball in your court of whether you're going to join those success stories. I can't wait to see your intro post in the community group, and I'll see you on the inside.